Howdy, this is David Groce, your Texas tax and lawman. Today we are talking about one of the biggest questions new business owners have. What is the difference between an employee and an independent contractor? In simple terms, an employee is someone who works for you at your place of business and job site, on your time, using your tools, and under your control. A contract is another business owner who you hire on a contract basis, one job at a time, to do work for you, like they do for other people. Conceptually, that seems simple enough, but practically, the big difference between a contractor and an employee is how you have to pay them. In the last video, we talked about the bottomless pit of payroll taxes. If you have an employee, you have to withhold taxes from their paycheck, deposit that money either weekly, monthly, or quarterly, and then file payroll tax returns to the IRS, the state, and in some places, the local township. This means at least 11 payroll tax report and a regular tax deposit requirement. If you're late on the payment, the IRS and states charge you a penalty. The same is true for filing all those returns. So to avoid this, many small business owners think that they can skip it all by simply calling all their laborers independent contractors. Because an independent contractor is another business, you simply write them a check for the work they do and they pay all their taxes. At the end of the year, you send the contractor and the IRS a 1099 reporting the money you paid to them. Well, that sounds easy enough. Well, it is. Too easy. The problem with this is the government hates independent contractors. Remember, governments want money. They want employers to withhold their employees' monies and remit it to them in regular increments. I know that sounds cynical. In fairness, paying payroll also entitles the employee to receive state unemployment income in the event of a downturn and provides other benefits. In addition, an employee only pays 1/2 of the payroll tax for Social Security and Medicare. The employer pays the other half. An independent contractor has to pay the full 15.3%. For these reasons, small business owners regularly get audited by the IRS and the state employment agencies like the Texas Workforce Commission to review the classification of employees. I've worked through many audits for my clients. Over the years, the government has presented several different tests and lists identifying all the factors that delineate a contractor from an employee. At first, the list was 11, then 13, then 17, then 21. Now they look at all the facts and circumstances, and it really boils down to control. This short list should help you decide whether the people who work for you are contractors or employees. But even meeting these factors does not guarantee the government will agree. First, control. The government wants to know who is in control. Do you control the work behavior and scope of the work? Do you provide the tools, equipment, and materials to do the work? Do you tell the person what hours to work and the way they are to do the work? If so, they're probably an employee. A contractor is someone you hire to accomplish a task. They bring their tools, they work on their time, and they are only responsible to you for the finished work. Second, money. The IRS does care how and what you pay your workers. If you are reimbursing all of their expenses, providing their transportation, paying for everything an employer would pay for, well, the service would say you are an employer. However, if you simply write a check to the contractor and the contractor has to do everything else, like get to the job, perform the work, buy their own insurance, and meet the guidelines, they may be a contractor. Third, contract. An employee shows up to work and receives instructions from the boss. They do whatever their manager tells them to do, how they tell them to do it, and when they tell them to do it. They do not negotiate a scope of work and written contract to manage expectations and responsibilities of the parties. That is what a contractor does. If you think someone is a contractor, then give them a written contract that determines the scope of work, the terms of payment, and the relationship between the parties. Finally, the IRS says that not any one of these things are determinative, but they will look at all the facts and circumstances of the transaction. Listening to all of this, you may feel like Bruce Lee trying to fight his enemy in the maze of mirrors and enter the dragon. If you can't tell who's who and what's what, and you need your own Bruce Lee to destroy the image and break the enemy, give us a call. And until next time, Texas Tax and Lawman Legal Disclaimer. Hey, I'm a lawyer. You know I have to have some lawyer mumbo jumbo. This is a general information video, not client attorney privilege information. The content is information only and is not directed to any specific facts or circumstances and cannot be relied upon as a legal opinion, even though that would be nice and save you a trip to the lawyer. If you have a specific legal question, feel free to contact David Groce directly or seek qualified legal or tax counsel in your state of residence, state of mind, or whatever place you call home.